Hi there, I'm Felicia, Head of Doctors Ministries at CMF and a GP. And I'm here with two CMF doctors, Paula, who is a CMF Clinical Academic Link, and Melody, who has much experience in leading on and organising CMF Specialty Day conferences. In this short video, we are talking about what it means to be a CMF link for your specialty and the gospel influence and kingdom impact we can have in society through CMF specialty networks. Melody and Paula, thank you for joining me today. Perhaps you could introduce yourselves and talk about what it means to have CMF specialty specific networks for Christian healthcare workers.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Felicia. So I'm Paula. I'm currently an SC2 in obstetrics and gynecology and also an academic clinical fellow. And I have the privilege of being the link for academics within CMF. What to say really? I think being a CMF specialty link or special interest link just gives you an opportunity to help shape resources and to shape events that might be a benefit to your colleagues and brothers and sisters. I think it's really exciting that you can shape it from a Christian perspective. I think sometimes in the hospital you can think that you're the only one in your specialty or the only one in your hospital. And I think whilst it's great to have local links and the Castis teams, which are fantastic, I think there's also a really unique role for having specialty specific Christian avenues to meet, and I think it's just great to be involved in helping to shape that and encourage both practicing clinicians as well as clinical students too. Yes, that's been my experience, which I've been really enjoyed and just found to be a real blessing. But how about you, Melody?
Yeah. Thank you, Paula. So I'm Melody, so I'm a clinical genetics ST4 in Yorkshire. And similarly, I completely agree that there's such a brilliant role for collaborating across our specialties. I know for me, something that I really benefited from when I was thinking of applying to clinical genetics, I got in touch with CMF, and CMF put me in touch with a Christian clinical geneticist. And it was really helpful to be able to discuss how I might approach some of the challenging issues on the training curriculum, and to now have that person as a contact who I can go to when I'm facing issues where my faith is causing me to question things at work. And there's such CMF has encouraged me in so many ways, and it's brilliant to have the general network through CMF, but there's a lot to be said for having contact with other clinicians and other healthcare workers who are in the same area as you and facing the same difficulties, the same challenges and the same opportunities. And also by collaborating together, we have a really brilliant opportunity to try and shape things for our specialty, to get involved with bodies such as the Royal Colleges, and to make sure that we have a voice on these platforms.
Yeah, thank you. That's really significant, isn't it? Sometimes I think that people kind of think, oh, it's just getting together with your specialty, but as you've alluded to, both of you, there is there's a real kingdom impact, but actually the unity and the sharing that you can get as Christians, particularly in particular fields like obs and gynae or clinical genetics or others, etc., where there are real ethical minefields as well. I mean, how were you, Paula, how were you drawn to even becoming a specialty link?
Yeah, good question. So actually this happened following an event that Melody organised with our friend Eve back in, goodness, it seems many moons ago, 2019, I think it was. We had the Clinical Academics Day. And so at that time I was a WEF2, wanting to pursue a career in academia. I was really drawn to the opportunity to meet other clinicians specifically working in academics. And you might think, okay, why do you need a clinical academics kind of person? Well, actually, I think there's a lot of unique opportunities, but also challenges to research, be it from an ethical perspective, be it managing time and kind of your commitment as a Christian and also as a clinician. And I think it was just really encouraging and refreshing to see that actually there are quite a few more seasoned clinicians or clinical academics within CMF who could actually share a lot of wisdom. And so from that, I took on this role, which just basically helps me to be a point of contact for people who are interested in research, and also I kind of blend the two roles, both from my clinical work and also from my academic work, to kind of help people who are interested in obstetrics and gynecology and encourage them to consider academia as well. So that's, yeah, bit of how I got involved. But Melody, you've organised not just that event, you've organised a couple of events with CMF, amongst the many other wonderful things that you've done. Perhaps you could tell us how you got involved with that.
Yeah, well, I think the first thing and most important thing to say is that I'm very, very grateful to the CMF office staff, who actually end up doing the majority of the work. They do a lot of the administration and a lot of the communication, and so the pressure is never just on one person. So myself and Eve organised the Clinical Academic Day conference, and actually I was really, really encouraged through doing that, because what we found was, first of all, that there was lots of support for doing that, but also when we were approaching Christian clinical academics to come do talks for us, actually they were so enthusiastic. And like Paula was saying, actually, you know, it was really good to see really established clinical academics who could share their experience and encourage us in our faith, and how that kind of fits in with the clinical academic role. I think that quite often we think about what success looks like in kind of to other clinical academics around us, and we may have other mentors that are clinical academics that come from a different worldview and different belief system. And I think having that chance to through the day conference to kind of recalibrate, refocus our priorities, and think about really ensuring that we are Christian clinical academics, not just clinical academics who are Christian, was really encouraging. And the feedback from that was really actually made it all worthwhile. So I think it was definitely a great thing to do. On that note, I will add, actually, it was really nice to collaborate with Eve and to do that together. And I think that's something that you could consider, you know, if you are really busy but you want to take on this role, is if you work closely with somebody else. Communication between the two of you is really important so that you both know what each other's doing, but there is that opportunity to work together if you feel that would enable you to take on the role.
Yes, no, that's wonderful to know. And actually quite often when anyone's organised, there's been other people involved as well, and we've had psychiatry day conferences, obviously obstetrics and gynecology, clinical academics, and a surgery day conference as well, and there's many more that we could have, which would be a wonderful encouragement to people. I suppose lastly, I'm sure people would love to hear, you know, what would you say to someone who might be thinking about whether to take on this role or not? Just sort of like last kind of tips or inspiration, Paula.
So I think firstly, you know, pray about it. You know, I think it's always important to pray before making any major decisions. But after you've prayed about it, I think, you know, look at what you can reasonably do. I think Melody's point about collaboration is so important, because actually many of us are busy, either juniors or senior clinicians, with many other roles and responsibilities. But, you know, I think if you've got that passion for helping to connect people within your field who are Christians and being, you know, a link for them, I think that's something to definitely not kind of like overlook, as it were. So I think pray about it, look at what you can reasonably do, talk to other people, because it might be that there's a few of you who all have the same inclination, want to do this, and actually could do it as a group. You don't necessarily have to take on the responsibility all by yourself. And then talk to Felicia, who will definitely encourage you and give you the support that you need. I think the other thing is you can be flexible in the sense that it might be that having annual meetings for your specialty might not be the best thing, but you might say want to do things on Zoom or meet in less formal ways. I think there's a lot that can, you know, a lot of areas in which you can kind of develop the role for yourself. And yeah, just to also say that the CMF staff are fantastic and will help you with whatever it is that you want to do. So don't be put off from doing it. Definitely explore it if it's something that, that the Lord's laying on your heart.
Thank you. And I suppose in addition to what you might want to say as well, Melody, I was wondering, what about for existing links who are kind of thinking, oh, I don't really know what to do with our network? Any thoughts on that too?
I think that this new virtual era has given us even more opportunities for collaborating across the country. And quite often when you're stuck for what to do next, a good thing to do is to just gather a group of people and say, look, what would benefit you? What can we do to benefit our specialty? What are the big issues in our specialty? Would it help if we set up, a conference to look at this specific issue, or a working group to look at this specific issue, and ask the people, because sometimes we just need a bit of help from others to help us with our creativity.
Yes.
So pray about where you want to take it, and also discuss it with others, because other people may have some really good ideas too.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you both so much for joining me on this, because it's wonderful to hear about how you've been inspired and so excited and passionate about these roles, and about the fact that this is a significant and influential role in shaping Christians in your specialty, impacting healthcare and society with gospel, and building up the next generation. So if you want to find out more, please contact me for a specialty link role description and application form. Look forward to hearing from you. Bye.
Bye.